Welcome back to GameVault HQ. Today, we're diving into the Black Masses, an open-world first-person fantasy co-op RPG by Brilliant Game Studios. It promises a vast 16-square-kilometer island teeming with hundreds of thousands of possessed enemies, using crowd rendering tech from their earlier title, Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. But is it a game you should jump into, or does it fall flat in execution? Let's find out. The Black Masses thrusts you into a sprawling island filled with danger around every corner. The game's core gameplay consists of combat, exploration, and survival against swarming hordes of undead enemies. The crowd technology is impressive on paper, rendering thousands of enemies on screen at once. However, reviews are mixed on how well the game performs, and if these massive crowds actually enhance the experience. On one side, there are players who have noted a vast improvement in gameplay performance and smoothness, with issues like graphical glitches and bugs being less prominent. They felt the game ran smoother compared to earlier versions, and navigating through hordes felt much more seamless than before. On the other hand, not everyone is pleased. Some players argue that the visuals are still underwhelming, with comments on the lack of graphic options, such as anti-aliasing and unrefined animations that look clunky. There are mentions of issues like washed-out colors and saturated maps, which can break immersion, and the night being pitch black makes it almost impossible to see without proper lighting adjustment. The atmosphere in the Black Masses feels bleak and intense, which works in favor of the game's theme of survival against massive hordes. The game's performance, however, is another story. Some players have praised the game for being more polished than its demo version, appreciating smoother animations and better performance in general. However, this view isn't universal, as there are still complaints about stuttering, poor draw distance, and the infamous pop-in effect where objects and enemies suddenly appear out of nowhere. The island setting is populated by many structures and locales, but some areas feel barren or unfinished. For instance, players mention empty houses in towns like Ryrafel, contributing to a sense that certain parts of the game world were never fully fleshed out. This disconnects from the intended immersive experience, and can make the world feel more like a work in progress, rather than a cohesive living environment. Combat in the Black Masses offers a variety of weapons and abilities to take on the possessed inhabitants, but it's a mixed bag. While some appreciate the horde mechanics and the idea of battling against thousands of enemies at once, others find the combat somewhat repetitive and unrefined. The absence of certain crafting and alchemy features also raises questions about how these mechanics were intended to fit into the game, or if they'll ever be fully integrated. One of the game's strengths is the parkour system that allows for dynamic movement across the environment. Scaling buildings to evade mobs or find a strategic vantage point can lead to some memorable moments. Yet, for many, the movement mechanics don't feel as tight or polished as they could be, and the combat, while thrilling at times, often suffers from poor animations and responsiveness. Community feedback indicates a divided player base. While some are optimistic about the improvements and are hopeful for future updates, others feel the game still has a long way to go before reaching its potential. The lack of updates to existing areas, unfinished quests, and lack of polish in certain aspects of the game have been a point of contention. Additionally, some believe that the developers tend to focus more on adding new features rather than refining existing ones, which contributes to an inconsistent experience. The Black Masses has an ambitious vision and interesting ideas, especially with its crowd rendering tech and open-world zombie survival gameplay. However, the game feels like it struggles to balance its aspirations with actual execution. While some players have noticed marked improvements over time, others still find it riddled with performance issues, graphical shortcomings, and an overall lack of polish. For those who are looking for an early access experience with room for growth and don't mind some rough edges, the Black Masses may be worth checking out. But if you're after a refined, immersive RPG experience, it might be best to hold off until further improvements are made. We give the Black Masses a 6.5 out of 10. Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more game reviews. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.